Hi, welcome to today's DILAX Lab with our new episode, which is a very special one to us because we are deep diving today in one of our main products, which is DILAX Citisense, our analytics software. And I have the great pleasure to be here with one of my colleagues who will explain our software a little bit further. And we often get asked why we as a hardware developer of counting devices are also developing and operating our own software, but we will get more to this into detail in our conversations. We will find out how the system works, what it offers, and how passenger counting data is processed in this. So today I have my colleague Sama Beheshti with me. She's our senior product manager. And Sama, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Beheshti. I've been at DILAX now for over 5 years, and I am the senior product manager responsible for all of our mobility software products. And the core product there is DILAX Citisense, which we'll be talking about today.
Very good. Thank you very much and welcome again. Sama, you're the product manager of DILAX Citizense. So in your words, how would you describe DILAX Citizense and what makes it special?
Yeah, as you mentioned in your introduction, we produce automatic passenger counting sensors, APC sensors, and these sensors are installed inside vehicles that are gathering the count data throughout the day. And then the question comes, what happens to that data? Mm-hmm. And that's where DILAX Citizense comes into play. It's an analytics software that takes that APC data as well as other streams of data from transport companies and turns it into meaningful insights for our customers. As you no, it's not an industry that has few regulations. It's very heavily regulated. There's lots and lots of requirements and also a lot of standards that can vary from place to place. So our software doesn't only have to be able to handle all of those standards, but also needs to be customizable for our customers because each of them have different needs. So we have built a modular software that we can give the bare basics, or we can add on depending on the needs of our customers and what their setup is and what the use cases are, and add additional tools where necessary, such as DILAX Samplix or DILAX Mercury.
Yes, that's very true. I mean, I also have it from my experience with our customers. So you say the software is highly customizable, so which of course is an absolute asset in my opinion. So you also work with the customers and determine what needs they have and what you can support them with. Could you describe this a little bit more?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, in this industry, you really need to be very familiar with how your customers are operating on their day-to-day. So there's a lot of communication going on there, and you really need a deep understanding of what makes them tick. So we get all of the different requirements and really customize the solution toward our customers' needs. And we can give them the bare bones of the software, which is Citisense Basic, mm-hmm. that just deals with APC data, or we can add on additional modules that are going to benefit them in different ways. And for this, there's lots of different examples I could give. We have, for example, train customers that have a first class, second class seating mm-hmm. in one train carriage. So for them, it's not just important to look at the count in a carriage or on a vehicle, but also what percentage of those people are in the first class area as opposed to the second class area and how the movement is Absolutely. Between those. Or on the other hand, we have customers in North America that span across different time zones. So we have one customer that has different communities in different time zones, and our software needs to be able to handle that and to process the data, keeping that in mind and being capable of recognizing that. And in order to do this, we utilize Microsoft Power BI as our visualization tool. So that gives us a lot of flexibility in making sure that the visualization of the data is exactly what our customers want, and we can change it based on exactly how they want the data to be structured, and if they want graphs as opposed to tables, or even what colors we're using in that visualization, gives us a lot of flexibility there. The last thing I would like to say is that we know that as an APC-centered company, we are an integral part of the operations for our customers, but we also know that we're not the only part. There's a lot of moving parts there, and a lot of our customers have a complex setup already, and we need to be able to seamlessly integrate into the infrastructure they already have, the setup that they already have. So when our customer says, I already have a setup, it's working for me, I need you to deliver the data in this specific format so that it just works in my existing setup and I don't have to change anything. That's also something that we support. We deliver customizable exports that can just seamlessly integrate into their setup and doesn't give anybody any pain.
Yes, perfect. I can absolutely confirm that. And our customers appreciate that flexibility that we have. If we now dive more into the use cases that we offer or that our customers deal with, one of the use cases would be punctuality. It is more of a basic use case, obviously, but it is one that is more or less important from one country to another. Could you maybe explain for this basic use case how it works?
Yes, absolutely. Punctuality is something that I would say the majority of our customers are really looking at in order to identify problem areas in their network or to improve their service. It's a very big topic in France, for example. And how we give reports on this use case is that we use the APC data that our sensors are collecting, or APC sensors in general are collecting, and our customers also provide us with their schedule. So we know when was the planned arrival of a vehicle at a specific stop, and we also know from the count data when it actually arrived. So once we've run a matching task and matched these two data streams together, then we can know whether a vehicle was delayed or not, and give very deep reports on statistics on these numbers. So our customers are able to see if certain areas in their network have certain problems, if it's specific times of the day, specific days of the week that could be problems, and improve that in any way that they can. And also there are customers, for example, in France, that also have to pay penalties if their punctuality goes below a certain threshold. So it's very, very important for them to keep track of this. And for our customers to really look deeper into that. Recently, there was this report comparing the punctuality of regional trains in Germany to that of our neighboring country, Switzerland. And we see that the Swiss here are operating a lot more efficiently than Germany is. And maybe if the German operators were able to really identify the problem points in those networks and improve that, so we're more similar to our neighboring countries, that would be great.
I think we would all wish for that. So maybe we can still do something on it.
Absolutely.
Speaking of German speaking countries, one use case that is very relevant is the revenue sharing, at least to create the database for it. How can DILAX Citizense support with this?
Yes, this is a very hot topic, is specifically in the German-speaking region, but also it expands internationally as well. Basically, when a passenger goes through a journey in a city like Berlin, they go through different areas that can be operated by different transport operators. It's not the same company behind the different parts that their trip is going through. They're paying one time for a ticket, but at the end of the day, those operators need to find out how many people did each of them transport and for how long. And the main KPI that we're looking at here is passenger kilometers or passenger miles in the North American market. And with that, they're able to then split the revenue more evenly, more fairly, depending on who has done the most passenger kilometers, basically. And it's not just about the revenue from ticket sales, it's also different types of funding. And when we're looking at like situations where we have the Deutschland ticket here in Germany in place right now, 49 euros that is valid across the country, or in Luxembourg where transport is free. There's still funds that are allocated to these companies, and they need to understand where the money goes, and this KPI allows them to understand that and allocate the funds to the right places. And it's not just here, but as I mentioned, passenger miles in the North American market. It's not the same use case, it's not revenue sharing. However, the US market has, for example, the NTD report, which is an annual report they need to deliver to the Federal Transport Administration. And one of the KPIs that has to be delivered is passenger miles. So it's one KPI that can be used for multiple different reasons.
Okay, so people or customers all over the world want to know where their passengers moved from where to where.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then what about operations? Because I think this is really the heart of our software. So counting the data is one thing, but then to match it is another thing. And I think there we can get the most information out of it. So to really analyze the fleet and how the people moved around a city, I think this is really our core product. So could you please describe a little bit more how what we offer and how our customers use DILAX Citizense for fleet management?
Yes, absolutely. The fleet management is probably our classic use case. That's basically by matching the schedule data to the APC data, we're able to look at the activity levels on at different stops, at different areas of the network, on different lines, on different trips, and identify where the highest activity is, where there's a little activity, and then our customers use that in order to make decisions such as what the frequency of the vehicles are that are sent on a specific route, or how big a vehicle should be. They can decide based on how busy that route is on a particular day at a particular time to send a bigger vehicle as opposed to a smaller vehicle, or the other way around. If it's a route that's not being used as much, they can identify where to create new lines where previously one did not exist based on this traffic information. And on top of that, they can also use it as a basis for some staff planning decisions. By no means are we saying that Citisense is a staff planning tool. That's absolutely not the case. However, when you understand the activity levels on the different parts of the network, you can better plan when maintenance staff are to go to a specific location, when cleaning staff are supposed to be at a specific location. And of course, when we're speaking about staff, we're also talking about the drivers for the vehicles. So the frequency that of the vehicles that are being sent on a route and how many and how big, these also come hand in hand with staff planning. So it seems simple on the surface, but it can be utilized for so many different things.
Yes, absolutely. And only with the data you have the power to really take the decisions then. Thank you, Summer, for sharing. Now we're already at my last question, which gives more of an outlook in the future. So what do you think, how will public transport operators become more data-driven in the future, so that both parties will benefit from it, the planners as well as the passengers?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different data streams that are being collected in different parts of transport organizations, not just APC, but so many different streams of data that's coming through. But in my opinion, they're not being utilized to their full potential. There's a lot of data being collected, but not being put together for insights that are going to benefit our customers and the end passengers in the end. And I think that that's the trend that we're going toward. We as citizens, we all want good, efficient, affordable public transport. It's going to make our cities, our towns, our environments better. And that is what our customers are striving for, to offer a better service for the passengers. And we can only support them in order to achieve that goal.
Yes, it addresses a very big trend of sustainability and making the cities more livable. And and I could not agree more. We take a part in achieving this goal step by step, and this is also why in the end our slogan is local data for better cities, or better mobility in this case. So thank you very much, Sama, for these interesting insights. I hope our viewers also enjoyed the DILAX Lab, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time.